Hello, everyone. Welcome to the community session. This is the February edition. Time flies. Thank you for whoever's going to help me out with admitting the upcoming folks in the room. Thank you. I hope you all have a great day, morning, night, evening, wherever you are on the planet. Today we have a rather good agenda, so I'm gonna jump right in. We're gonna have a release highlights as we just shipped 136 yesterday, so I'm going to cover a little bit some of the highlights in there. I'm going to drop a quick note on the BackstageCon, as I believe last time we had this in January, the agenda was just being announced in that particular morning. So I just want to reiterate a little bit on that for a bit. And then we're going to have a demo from a second demo again. On the OP Financial Group. I think we've had one of these in December. I was out on parental leave. I may be wrong. I may be confusing the months, but this is part 2. So very excited. Thank you for that. And then, as always, we're going to wrap with some community Q&A. I'll pause for a second just because I've seen a message in the chat. All right. Hello. Awesome. Awesome, thank you. That's how I like it to be, so that I don't. I feel like I'm having. I'm talking, not just a monologue. So I appreciate that, Peter. Thank you. All right, so let's cover quickly a little bit the release highlights for 136. As you probably already know, we've shipped this out of the door yesterday, fresh out of the oven. And there's a lot of good updates on this one. In general, when I put the slides together, I try to put the thank you small prayer emoji in there. Usually I add that for some major contribution. As you can see, this release has a lot of that. So it's amazing to see that. A couple of things to cover in there. So let's dive in. First things first, I'm going to start with the breaking changes. We've got native ESM support for the Node.js code. The tooling is in the Backstage CLI now supports native ESM in there. This has been implemented in a way that maximizes compatibility with both existing code and the code that's bundled for the browser environments, meaning that you can now import ESM-only packages just using the dynamic import. Now, that's a breaking change because these were previously resolved with the require calls. There's extensive documentation on this on how to sort of like replace those when you import and make sure this is not breaking your implementations. But I just wanted to call it out at the beginning just to make sure you're aware of this. So please refer to the documentation on this. If you can't find them, they're also pointed into the release notes for 136. Then moving on, we also made it easier in this particular release to pass custom rules. We improved how plugins integrate with the permission framework. We introduced a new permission registry service that is to replace the old create permission integration router middleware that is to be deprecated, if I'm not mistaken, at some point soon, but not yet. This can be used to add additional permissions, rules, and resource types without the need to introduce extension points. So hope that's going to be a good, useful addition to the release. Moreover, we are going to welcome Canon in the 136. We've welcomed Canon for a while, but this is the first sort of like fresh out of the oven version of Canon that we invite you to have a look at. This is a new UI library designed for Backstage. Now, this is based on base UI. Okay, that's a pun intended. This is based on base UI from MUI. It's built to provide a better base and greater flexibility in theming, but to be more restrictive in the styling of individual components. Word of warning, for now, since we're advertising on this one, Canon is still in a very early stage of development and should not yet be used by plugins other than for experimental. So just wanted to call that out. Thank you so much, Charles, for driving this contribution. Moreover, we also have a new auditor service, which is now available to plugin authors to use to record your critical actions and events within Backstage. Basically, it's a separate event stream for security-sensitive activities, so you can log your authentication or authorization independently from your regular operation logs. This has already been integrated with Catalog and Scaffolder, for the core ones, so please have a look and start using that and give us feedback. Thank you so much, Paul Schultz, for this contribution. Moving on, a lot of goodies in this one. Moving on, we have the declarative CLI templates. We've got a new kid on the block, which is the yarn new to bring your own template. The new command is now powered by a new template system that kind of allows you to define your own templates in a declarative way, as well as importing existing templates from external sources. As part of this sort of change, some of the configurations have moved into the root package JSON. So be aware that there are some configurations that are flipping from their local to the global counterparts. So there may be some things you need to be aware of in there. So this is all documented very well. So have a look into the documentation. Same if you can't find it, it's in the CLI bits or referenced in the release notes. Thank you so much, Min, for this contribution. Moving on to touch base a little bit on the URL reader service as well. There's some improvements there. All of the URL readers and all of the URL readers, sorry, the search method has been updated to use the read URL. If the given URL doesn't respect the pattern, it doesn't contain a pattern. As a result of that, the URL reader processor is now reading that via a config flag, which for now is set to false. But going forward in a future release, TBD which one of them, that's going to be turned by default to true. So for now, we're introducing that, but keep an eye on this becoming a de facto default at some point. So please have a look at that and tell us what you think. Thank you so much, Thomas Cardone, for this contribution. Also, I apologize in advance. I hope I'm not mispronouncing anyone's name as I'm going through these things. Moving on, wow, halfway through. What else do we have? Scaffolder GitHub auto completions is a popular feature request. So amazing to see this in. There is now support for auto completion in GitHub repositories and branches built into the repo URL picker and the repo branch pickup. Thank you so much, Benjamin Jensen, for this contribution. And on that note, we also have configurable session duration for auth providers. We now have a config to tweak the auth providers to allow changing the lifespan of the user sessions. Now, that's obviously useful because I believe the old value was somewhat deprecated. If I read correctly, that was hard-coded to 1,000 days. So being able to adjust that now via the config value and to tweak the cookies lifespan allows you to kind of like make that a little bit more up to date with the what the modern browsers request. So thank you so much for this, Jessica. Hey, useful contribution. Please have a look at this and let us know what you think. Thanks for bringing this and improving the security we have around auth in there. Speaking of scaffolder, maybe I should have toggled this before to the next one, to the previous one. There's always, especially in the SIG for scaffolder, there's a lot of topics around the graceful shutdown and how to mitigate that with checkpoints for the scaffolder workers. We have some more stuff that landed there in the under the experimental flag to basically make the scaffolder block the shutdown process until all of the running tasks completed. This is useful when, there's an absolute need to ensure those tasks complete before you can kind of like shut down the overall master process in there. This is, as I mentioned, a popular, or rather say, an issue that is often brought up in the community. So please give this a try, especially since it's under the experimental flag, and let us know if this works for you. Thank you so much, Heikki, for this contribution. Appreciate that. And then last but not least, if I'm not wrong, this is the last but not least, we also have new Kubernetes permissions as a way to restrict access to other Kubernetes endpoints besides obviously the proxy endpoint that you're using. And this was implemented by the permission framework as well. This is furthering a tighter boundary and increases security. So please give this a try. Thank you so much, Dominica, for your contribution. I'll take a break there. That was a lot of good stuff. Thank you so much. Highlights again the power of the community. A lot of good things landed. A lot of things to experiment. So please keep the feedback coming. If there's anything that breaks, if there's anything that works, we would love to hear that both. Cool. That said, I'm going to move on to the next part, which is reminding you all, I'm based in London, so I need to use this expression. Please mind the gap. The BackstageCon and KubeCon is coming, as you know, in early April. We're all getting together in London. Hopefully the weather changes by the time April comes in, spring arrives as well. I mentioned this last time as well. One second. I mentioned this last time as well, but I think we had the last community session exactly on the 15th, if I remember correctly, in January, which is when the agenda was announced in that morning. So in the meantime, hopefully you had some time to have a look at that. We hope to see as many of you at the KubeCon. There's a very large group from Backstage, from our end, sort of like arriving. A lot of people from the community that are coming. So hopefully we're going to have a lot of great conversations in there. The agenda for and the schedule for BackstageCon is also live. Please check out all the sessions in there. We have a lot of them, including from some of our adopters, which actually wouldn't fit wouldn't fit all into my slide, but hopefully that gives you a good idea of what to expect. And last but not least, I just wanted to extend again, or take this opportunity to extend an invite to join our Contribfest at KubeCon. It's your chance to kind of like dive into the repo, install, have access to talk to the maintainers, and sort of like get a chance to dive into Backstage and make some contributions. We've had a very successful session last time in the North America counterpart last fall, so this is sort of like another iteration on that. So hopefully to see as many of you as possible in there. And with that, I will pause for a second. I'm just gonna check with Heikki. Do you want to take over the screen for the demo?
Yeah, thank you, please.
Wonderful, thank you so much. I'll stop sharing. Thank you.
Just a second. All right, can you see my screen?
Yep, works great.
Good. So, hello again. We are from OP Financial Group, and this is continuation from the December session. And this time we are only here with Jyrki, and probably I'm the one talking, like it or not, but I will be in the voice. And Jyrki can take also questions if there is any. And let's start with the introduction. So I'm Heikki Hellgren, and I'm a OP Hub lead developer, also known as Dreuille in the community. And Jyrki, do you want to say some words?
Yeah, I guess just good evening, Jyrki Koistinen, product owner for the OP Hub, so our Backstage-based IDP. Thanks.
All right. So this time we will go through things that we missed last time because we ran out of time. And if you haven't seen the previous session, it's available on YouTube. And let's start off with some great news. So we broke our monthly active users record again last month. So with 1,213 active users that month, and this is really good achievement. And I want to thank also the Backstage community and our OP Hub team for achieving this. And it's looking great. It's going there in the right direction, and people are really getting the value out of the IDP. And yeah, that's about it. Our greatest news so far. So let's jump into the next topic. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about our development workflow because it hasn't been, I think, on the map so much in these sessions, and I want to share our development workflow. How's it going? So basically, we use mostly Mac OS or VSL in the bottom, like for the OS. We also tried the dev containers and native Windows, but that didn't work out so well. Mostly because there's these corporate proxies and stuff like that going on. So mostly we are using the Mac OS, and Windows users are using VSL. And on top of that, we have the core Backstage And then we have also the plugins, and in our internal plugins, we have 162 plugins on top of Backstage, and also 22 third-party plugins from the Backstage community and also other sources. And what we wanted from the beginning is to keep our development environment as close as possible with the production. So we have also PostgreSQL and Plant UML Redis and OpenSearch running locally in a Docker. And on top of that, we also use WireMock for all our integrations. So basically, we can control what kind of data the local environment gets. It's much easier that way to test, for example, if some errors are returned from some integration or so forth. And the WireMock is also configured so that it can contact the actual services behind, and we can record those messages. So it's quite easy to do like new WireMock mocks there. And I will show a little bit about this WireMock later in the live demo. All right. And by the way, if you have any questions, you can just ask them in the chat or after the presentation. So go ahead. Then this is our raw image of our CI/CD pipeline, and there's lots of places where we get pull requests, so our own team and also from RenovateBot and our inner source contributors. And we do quite a lot of quality management in our CI and CD pipelines. And as you can see, there's a lot of this testing done. Also the unit testing and end-to-end testing with Playwright. And for each PR, we run all these steps. We do the linting with all kinds of tools. We do the unit testing, then static code analysis, then we build the package and actually start the package and run end-to-end tests against the WireMock mocks. So we get quite good quality control already in the PR phase. And after that is merged, we do the same kind of stuff in the CD pipeline, and then we deploy it actually to our development environment and run the end-to-end tests against that. And then there is approval for the content to go forward, and after that we deploy it to our test account, where we do some manual checks that we cannot quite easily to do with the Playwright. So we test some of the features manually there, and after that we approve it to production deployment, and then it goes live. And we've been doing these production deployments, I think, at least once a week for the past year, and we try to be quite fast with the delivery of new features. And our unit test coverage is also quite high. It's 88.4%, and there's 83,000 lines we have to cover with those unit tests. So the quality is really important, especially in this kind of service that is used by so many people. But that's about our CI and CD pipelines. I don't know what kind of pipelines people have in their own Backstage development environment. So hopefully this will help someone to maybe get some new ideas. All right. Next, we will talk a little bit about one of my favorite topics, and it's the notifications. And I mean the Backstage notifications, and we have been early adopters of the Backstage notifications. So basically, when they were first published, we took them into use, and there's quite a lot of use cases already, but we are still waiting for some new use cases, especially from the community plugins and the Backstage core. About these use cases, I will demonstrate at least some of those in the live demo. And on top of the emails, we also use the email. On top of the emails, on top of the notifications, we also use the email processor. So we will send the notifications via email as well. And the default version of what it's sending, it's not very beautiful. So what we did is we used the MGML library to modify the notification content and get it a bit more beautiful for our users. So here's an example of that email we get from the Backstage notifications. And this is possible with the extension point available in the email module. So hopefully this will help also other email notification users. Yeah. Next, I want to talk a little bit about our AI stuff, which is something that was demoed already last time, but I wanted to show a bit more in depth what we are actually doing under the hood. So here is a sequence diagram about the user interaction with different components in the AI system. So basically the user starts with the prompt, and then we actually use the prompt to generate open source optimized search terms that we will use against the Backstage search then. And we will get search results from there, and then we use the prompt on top of those search results and get the chat response after that. And then, of course, save the history of what the user has talked with the AI and give the response back to user. And we had previously this search integration already, but we tried to find out the keywords from the prompt manually in the code, but it didn't work that well. So we changed it to also use the OpenAI service to find like optimized search terms for the Elasticsearch. And that works pretty well. So if someone is trying to do something like this, hopefully this will give some ideas how to do it. And of course, this is an area that we have to improve all the time. There has been over 2,000 prompts since the launch of Hubert in August 2024. So we try to bring as much value for our users as possible through this. And as we have all the data in the Backstage search already available, why not use that? Maybe next thing we will try to do with the AI is to also use the embeddings from OpenSearch. So let's see how that goes. All right. That's about my slides. I don't want to give that long slideshow, but actually jump into the live demo and show some things from the OB Hub itself. Just a second, I will just move this here. Can you see OB Hub now?
Yep.
Yep. All right. So from the last demo, we have some new features already visible here. So we have these expanders available in the menu, and these are actually behind feature flag, so you can enable it from there. I would really like to encourage people, especially the plugin developers, to first use the feature flags also for community plugins and other plugins when you are introducing new features, because this can really help to get the feedback before actually launching stuff. And I haven't seen so many plugins using the feature flags yet, so that's really cool kind of way to introduce new features also from the third-party plugins. That's about the new menu. This is our settings page. I think I didn't show this last time, and there's all these default switches here available, and we also have possibility to customize the main menu, so you can hide things there if you want to. but nothing that special here. What I really wanted to show is our admin features. So these are features that are available for OP Hub team only, and not available for the normal users of OP Hub. So this is based on the DevTools plugin, and we have some additional tabs available here. But as you can see, this is the basic DevTools plugin, shows all the installed versions and operating system and so forth. And also the config is from the upstream. So basically it shows the configuration values that are set. But then what we have here is our catalog, and I think this is a bit confusingly named, because here we can actually see our all scheduled tasks, and we can also trigger these tasks from here. So it's possible for our admins to force refresh some data. For example, indexes, search indexes are available here, and also the entity providers and so forth. So this way it's possible for us to like force the refresh of some data if necessary. Then we have some catalog information. We have orphans. Unfortunately, no orphans in my local development environment. Then we have the unprocessed entities, so we can see what kind of entities did not pass the processing, and it's possible to see also the raw entity definition here and see what's wrong with the entity. And there's also pending entities that are still under processing, but this is usually empty because they are processed so fast. We have also missing entities. So this is a page where we can see, for example, if this entity has the spec owner that is trying to point to some other catalog entity, but that catalog entity doesn't exist. So we can see here if there's like errors in the catalog info files and what's really missing there. So this is used for that. And here we have our own system mapping that if they are not linked to anything useful. But this really helps us to find the issues with catalog infos and also show or force people to fix those issues then. All right, that's about the catalog. Then we have the notifications. So basically we can send notifications from the admins, and we can select the entities and also what kind of severities, link and description. And this is basically using the notification service. And it has a custom backend there that sends the actual notification. And this is for admin users only as well. Then we have the announcements plugin. This is the third-party plugin from Backstage community, and well, this shows the announcements for people, and we use it if we have some maintenance breaks or something to show that to our users. Next, we have our integration. So we do monitoring of our system, but sometimes there is an issue in the external system. For example, we cannot connect Bitbucket or Jira or whatever. And if those are down, then usually we end up in the situation that, for example, the self-service templates will fail because we cannot do pull requests or whatnot. So we are checking also from the OP Hub side to these integrations that they are working, and this is done with the schedule. In local development, it's quite fast, but in the real environments, it's not so often checked. So, but anyways, it's possible to also disable these checks. So we can, for example, disable the Bitbucket now. And when the users go to the self-services, then they will actually see this that integration to Bitbucket seems to be down, and we disable running those templates at that point. So this will hopefully save some nerves from people that get failed template runs, and also we send a notification to our team if some of the integration is down, so we will get some actions ongoing immediately after that. But yeah, that's one of the things we monitor as well. And lastly, there is this cache, so we can clear the cache from here. So that's nothing special, it's the Redis cache clearing mechanism, but sometimes we end up in the situations where we have to forcefully remove some caches, and that way it's possible. And that's about the admin section. I want to, at this point, stop a bit and maybe ask if someone wants to see something more in depth, what we went through in the December session or in this session or overall in the OB Hub. I can show some things if you want to see.
There are a couple of questions. I guess at least I didn't answer yet about how long our CI/CD pipelines, the pull request build. I guess it's a bit faster, but in general, how long those take? It's interesting to know.
Yeah, well, the PR is around 20 minutes, and I think it's quite long. From the merge to production, I think it's somewhere around 40 minutes. You can get the new commit in the production, but yeah, it's quite long, but well, you have to pay some time for getting the quality in.
I think we have had some challenges with the AWS, especially like we tried caching and it was basically just slowing down the build. So we have high hopes now. We are doing migration to the GitHub that with the workflows we can improve a bit the CI/CD.
Yeah,
but let's see.
Yeah, the AWS code build caching doesn't really work with node modules that well, so it's really pain in the ass to try to get the builds go faster. So basically it means that we have to install and download all the dependencies every time we do a build.
About a couple of other questions. Yeah, the open source in some of these plugins. So I already commented that we have some legal challenges to say contribute any new open source plugins. So we don't have any problems being contributors to some projects that are maintained by other people. But at the moment we are not trying to tackle this. The OP Financial Group can be maintainer in open source projects. So that is it. On our radar. Let's see if we are able to tackle that fast. Usually this takes time because this is also this is also new to the OP Financial Group, this level contribution to the open source.
Yeah, I really hope that we get some clarification how we could open source some of these plugins, because it's also a toll for us. And the community is really good to help with those.
I think we have now taken all the questions. What was there? At least in chat.
Peter's question is the last one, I believe, that wasn't yet answered. Jyrki, the second to last one.
Heikki, did you got the question? How much space framework
no.
pages components you are using and how many customized?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we have customized quite a lot, just because we are also using our own design framework on top of that. That has been used in all of our OP applications. And well, I don't think. I don't know if we have any like from the upstream directly, because we have customized this quite a bit. I think the tech docs might be one of those. So this looks quite familiar, I think. But otherwise, I think we are customizing this quite a lot. And also that's why we are waiting for the Canon to come in to make it a bit easier to customize this.
No question.
I have a question about notifications.
Yeah.
Have you do you only send notifications using the admin UI you showed us, or do you also have other sources of notifications, and kind of how is that working out? Is there some notification overload happening, or how are you handling that in general?
Well, we had some notification overflow from the Q&A, because if you ask a question about some entity, it will actually send the notification to that entity owner. And there were some components that had like 100 something owners in the same group, and that came up quite fast that there are some issues with that. But the Q&A is one of the sources. Then also we monitor the self-services, so if there is a template failing, then we send a notification to that template owner that there was a failed run, and he can go and check it out. And then we have also the integration health checks where we send notification. And what else?
Have you ended up needing the kind of end user configuration of notifications yet?
Yeah, we do. We have the notification settings in the settings page, but of course, locally I don't have anything here yet. But yeah, we are using that as well. And funny story about the admin notifications. I did a bit of a mistake there, because I sent a broadcast notification. We had some problems with our Hubert AI chat, and I sent that Hubert is down, do not try to use it. And it ended up sending 7,500 emails around the organization, the same notification. And I think our cybersecurity was that I think this was a mistake, and they are getting a lot of reports that someone is trying to scam them. But yeah,
but it
that happens
succeeded.
sometimes.
But it succeeded, so we were able to test in scale.
Yeah, no issues there. 7,000 emails just poof. All right. Any more questions? I try to check the chat as well.
Did you use simple theme options, or how did you merge the component system? I guess this was the first.
Yeah, we use the styled components from Material UI, and basically use the theme there to override what comes from our own design system. Some of the like styling, because our own design system doesn't have, for example, dark theme support, so we have to use the theme colors there. But it's mostly just overriding the theming with the colors from the design system, and then some styled components on top of that. So I hope this answered your question. And Kurt was asking, can you go over to the announcement tab? Here's the announcement tab. We can make announcements. Hello.
Because this is using product what is available in open source. This is the plugin.
Yes.
Yeah, change it.
I cannot submit. I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, this is a third party from the community plugins, the announcements plugin over there. If you tear down your Backstage now, how long will it take for someone to complain? I think tomorrow morning someone will complain. Because we have quite a lot of these self-services that are not available anymore in any other place. So I think it's quite fast feedback if we do that.
Yeah, so we have had recently, like now you saw the numbers, we have this roughly 1,300, I guess this on 1,300. So we have so much users, and I guess this give feedback, I guess we demonstrated that. So we have tried to push all the people or instruct them to, you please use this feedback feature. Do not try to reach us via Teams or any other channel, but use this so that they are always going to the correct, let's say, they are, first of all, the Jira ticket is created from the bugs and from the support request. So we have been, let's say, struggling with the support and let's say, like we discussed last time, that now we are in a phase that we need to have this kind of daily support. We have this kind of hat role. So we have one person dedicated to give the support and check what kind of support requests, what kind of bugs are being created that filters out that work with the other team. So this is what we are not been just recently been educating the users to use.
Yeah, and also the feedback is one of the things that is using the notifications. So you can actually send feedback to any entity, and it will send a notification as well to the entity owner that you have some new feedback available.
Like if you have the Jira project in entity metadata, so it will generate that ticket to that Jira project and is linked to this entity. So not all of them are going to our Jira.
Yeah. About the statistics, yeah, we do collect quite a lot of stats. So we collect, for example, all the page visits and so forth. And I don't know, do you, Jyrki, remember what are the most used features?
Yeah, like from the self-services, I guess the AWS related access requests, requesting changes to the account who can access what those are. I guess more than half of the self-services are related to this kind of basic daily operations. I need access, or I want to get rid of access. I need to change ownership or something like that. And the catalog, I guess, comes next. That the browsing catalog, we have lots of information that is hard to find otherwise. So we have been trying to build this catalog so that you would find the information there. I think I don't know, is it still, but we have been demonstrating the OP Hub to so many people that we were usually the first in page, like most used entities is our own entities. I don't know, has someone already passed those? I haven't checked.
Yeah, we use the open telemetry for the usage data for your question, Kurt, in the chat. And also we have the Dynatrace. We are using that for some monitoring and also collecting metrics there.
Yeah, this is fantastic. So you can hear me. I love watching
Yes.
you do this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have been trying to make it as nice as possible. Hopefully someone gets some ideas as well. Oh, I was thrown out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna joke that there was a 401 for not sending the broadcast message from.
Yeah, I think we have this this own alts here in the local, so. But yeah, if there's no more questions, I think we are done. And if you want to see more OP Hub, of course, you can contact us. We can go through things also with other people. And we have also already done that with, I think, quite many companies. So please keep in touch and see you also in the BackstageCon. We are coming there as well. So we can show there the OP Hub as well. But that's, I think, all from my side. Do you want to take over, Mihai?
Sure. Thank you so much again for showing us this. Looking forward to meet you all at the KubeCon. And we still have maybe about 5 minutes. Just want to make sure people also have time before their next engagement. So do we have any questions, follow up on the demo we've seen, or follow up on the stuff that we discussed before that? Let me quickly pull my screen just to be consistent with wrapping this up. Any questions, follow-up, feedback, thoughts you want to share? Opening the floor. Oh, I see a question. Will there be any demo of Canon? Oh, that's a good question.
There will be, but not yet. Still working hard on moving it forward and getting it ready for prime time.
Soon.
Yep.
Awesome. Pause there for any more follow-up questions. All right, if there are no more questions or follow-ups, just wanted to, I agree, I second Eric's comment in there. Awesome demo, thanks again for showing this to us. Thank you so much again to the wonderful community, all the contributors that you make it possible for Backstage to advance. Have a great rest of the day, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world. And thank you so much for attending today. Thank you so much.